It finally happened after 53 years. The New York Knicks are NBA champions. We are NBA champions. The city of New York can rejoice. Most unbelievable championship I've ever watched in my lifetime. And we're going to get into all of it here on this episode of Mike and B Sports Talk.
All right, so as we saw Saturday night, New York Knicks back on top for the first time in 53 years. Brunson, 45 points, finals MVP. What a performance from him. Had half of the team's points, basically.
Yeah.
I think Brunson, Bridges, and Hart are kind of making best trio of all time argument here. I mean, Chips at Villanova at the college level, now in the NBA. Do they go back to back?
Yeah.
I like these teammates.
Listen.
Was OG snubbed?
No, he wasn't snubbed, man. When you have a closeout game performance like that, 45 points, lead the team in basically every way, demeanor, coming back down from 16 points, there's no discussion in my opinion. And honestly, OG didn't, he played great defensively, but he didn't have a great game on offense, only 4 for 11 from the field. But it doesn't matter. He still had a great series. He still had a great playoff
series,
run as well. But listen, Jalen Brunson was the soul of this team for the last 4 years. He has been, for this playoff run he has been, and all the credit in the world goes to him. It's one of the greatest signings in the history of the NBA, getting him for $27 million a year, and everybody was saying that was an overpay, and it was one of the biggest underpays in NBA history. And for him, I hope he gets a little bit more money on his next contract because he deserves it. But at the end of the day, man, just one of the greatest signings of all time. As a Knicks fan, I mean, you saw it with me live, how emotional I got. I broke down. It was unbelievable to watch. Started crying, But that's how this run has felt. It's felt fairy tale, honestly. And it's something, being a Yankee and a Patriot fan, the Yankees are always competing, right? The Patriots obviously had that great dynasty. So, even though the Yankees haven't won a World Series in a while, and really in my life, because 2009 doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But the Knicks are a team, that I've rooted for my whole life. I've watched, we've talked about this ad nauseum at this point, how many times seeing those terrible lineups, terrible front office decisions, terrible draft decisions, and to finally see them become competitive, even that was just such an achievement. And now for them to do the ultimate goal of winning a championship, it was so emotional for me. Even right now, I'm thinking about it. I'm getting like goosebumps. It's crazy to say that they're NBA champions, man.
Especially at the last year too, like it really just kind of hits hard.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the best playoff run ever?
No, it's not the best playoff run ever.
Who's
only
on
because 2017 Golden State, they went 16-1, right? And they could have gone 16-0. They took a game off in Cleveland, gave them one. But nah, it's up there though, because they have the greatest point differential in NBA history, the greatest net rating in NBA history. So, it's them, it's 2017 Warriors, 96 Bulls, Houston Rockets are up there, those great teams. But, man, again, not to discredit anything that our team just did, but when you got Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, I mean, those are 4 Hall of Famers all on the same squad.
That team
we got maybe 2, right, in Jalen and Kat. And not to diminish any of the other players because they're obviously
more role
great.
players, not Hall
but
of
they're
Famers.
Exactly, they're more role players.
Yeah.
But I will say, I just feel like what they did and how they elevated themselves and the rest of their team, that's you
they
can't
played as a team and they lose one out of their last 14.
Yeah, you can't put a value on that. You can't put a number on how valuable that is. And honestly, we look back and we say, were all those picks that they gave for Mikal Bridges worth it? Was all the money they gave to OG Anunoby worth it? Was trading Randall and DiVincenzo worth it to go get Kat? And for a championship, for a team that's been waiting for 53 years, yeah, it was worth it. Because you could say for any organization, maybe it wouldn't have been. And maybe, and they've been critical. The fan base has been critical of those moves. I have as well.
You're going to be when you give up picks, you give up your future.
Of course.
But when you do win the championship,
it's all worth it, man. It's all worth it. And those are the kinds of things when you look forward to winning a championship and you're trying to, obviously this is the goal, win one. But now you have the pieces. We talked about it, man. 2 years under contract, these guys, the core group of players. So you can still go and try and go get more. Now, the East is going to be more competitive next year. You got Boston coming back at full strength. You got Indiana coming back at full strength. But I can't help but think that after this playoff run, where they beat arguably one of the top two teams, like they were a massive underdog going into this finals
Huge.
because the Spurs had just beaten OKC. So I do believe, honestly, not that they'd be the favorites, but they got to be in that conversation in the top three at least for teams going into next season.
Of course, you win a chip, you're going to be top 3, top 5 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks trailed by double digits in every single game of this finals in all 5 games. Would you say the Knicks won this series, or do you think the Spurs kind of lost it?
Again, it's not that the Spurs lost the series because the Knicks had to do so much to get back into those games, right? And whether it was Jalen Brunson, whether it was Alvarado coming off the bench making plays, Jordan Clarkson, Shamet, obviously early in the series and for the rest of the playoff run, it's not that they lost those games. It's that the Knicks did what they needed to do to get back into the games. And I think at that point for the Spurs, when they would cut it to 10, when they would cut it to 7, when they would cut it to 5, that's where the pressure really started to hit them again.
Of course.
And in those moments, the Knicks were better than them.
Yeah.
And so if you want to say that they were leading for 72% of the series, the Spurs were leading for 28% of the series, the Knicks were leading for. That number is
4 out of 5 games.
That number is crazy.
Yeah.
That number is crazy. But you know what?
It's unheard of.
The weird thing that NBA fans will say, very casual NBA fans will say, you only have to turn on the game for the fourth quarter and the final minutes. In this series, it did prove true because and I hate that was the fact because there's so much context in those earlier minutes, in those earlier games. I mean, they went down in game 4 by so much, partly because Cat went out with 2 fouls in the first minute of the game. So really just, again, you got to give a ton of credit to the Knicks. Of course, the Spurs had some minor drawbacks, and we talked about that in the last episode, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little more today. But I will just say, you can't discredit the Knicks for anything that they did. It was, once again, one of the greatest playoff runs in NBA history, and specifically in the finals to come back from those deficits, not just once, not just twice, not just 3 times, but 4 times.
It really shows their brotherhood and how they played as a team. That's kind of what Knicks basketball was this year. I think that needs to come into more teams.
I agree.
Because I saw the Spurs. I mean, look, they have a young crew, very, very young crew. I mean, just them losing this is not discouraging for them. They're probably going to be back in it for the next 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they can kind of learn off of that and kind of build the brotherhood, build the core. Kind of like what year was that? 2010 Spurs? Where they had Manu and
2013,
Tim Duncan
2014, yeah.
They need to bring that back, and I think that's what basketball needs. I think the fans loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all brothers out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're rooting for them. They're rooting for each other. It's amazing. But
I don't think that it can also go unsung how big of a role the fans played. Showing up in San Antonio, and showing up obviously in the Garden, but making it so that the Spurs home games didn't feel like home games for the Spurs. Like that. That's huge. And it gives you the fuel to come back in those games because Deuce puts up a 3, Deuce, like those, that fuels you, man. So a lot of credit goes to Knicks fans as well because without us, who knows if they come back from that 29-point lead. So it's huge, man. It's huge. And I think from an organization standpoint, credit to Leon Rose, credit to James Dolan for stepping out of the way. He was a bad owner for a long time. He turned into a good owner. Given the reins to his general manager, president of basketball operations, Leon Rose, obviously going and making the hire of Mike Brown, another great decision. Getting all these pieces, putting them together. It was an organizational victory in this case. Obviously, the players are so integral, but at the end of the day, it starts at the top and it works its way down.
It goes down all the way. It's an organization, not just a single player.
For sure, because one guy in that chain can ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah.
And so when you don't have dysfunction, when everything is working in perfect unison and the group is in agreement as to what they got to do, that's how you end up with a good future, man. And
since we're talking about the organization now, we have Cat, OG, Hart, Brunson, and Bridges under contract for the next at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's important to kind of bring back like a Mitch Robinson, a Landry Shamet? Do you think that those guys need to kind of be on the team for the whole team chemistry?
Listen, it's going to be hard to retain all 3 of them. I will say.
I don't think you will.
I will say that Mitch specifically, I think is the most important.
That was 2. The other one, Clarkson.
Clarkson, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the least. I think out of those 3, important. In my opinion, Mitch is probably the most important. Clarkson's probably the least. I like Shamet a lot.
I agree with that.
But he's too streaky.
He's streaky, but you know what? He's a guy that you want to have on your team
because he puts in so much.
He puts so much effort. If they get him for the right deal, I think that's a guy that you want. but I do think there's other guys who can fill that similar kind of role. So I don't think it's a necessarily must get. Obviously, love to have him again, but for the right deal. I do think Mitch is a must keep because he is the heart and soul of that team. When there's foul trouble with Cat, which there is a lot of the time, Mitch steps up, makes plays, and he's so great on defense. He's so versatile. You saw it against Wemby.
I think you also need that like kind of traditional center where he's just going to
I
control
agree.
the paint. Because Cat's amazing, but Cat's not like a traditional center. He's more. He can ball handle. He can shoot. He gets outside on the perimeter a lot. You need somebody to just kind of down the paint.
Yeah, and let's not get it twisted. Mitch is a starting center on at least 70% of the teams in this league. So for him to be your backup or to play double big with Cat, you're putting yourself in a great position. Huge advantage over a bunch of other teams. I think you want to keep him. Again, it's got to be the right deal because you don't want to overextend, especially you have a lot of big contracts already. You don't want to get stretched too thin. But the great thing about the Knicks as of right now is their depth, even the guys that they still have under contract as far as the bench players go, are still really good pieces. So, Clarkson and Shamma were big contributors, but they weren't the only contributors. Obviously, Deuce McBride, Tyler Kolek earlier in the season.
Deuce is huge this year.
Yeah, so they're not in a bad spot at all. I do believe that, again, if they don't get a guy like Clarkson or a guy like Shamma, you got to fill that void. I don't think you can rely.
Under contract?
Yeah, I don't think you can rely on those guys specifically, Kolek and Deuce McBride only. I think you need to get a couple more pieces.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of time for them to make those plays, make those decisions. I want to pivot now a little bit to San Antonio. How do you come off of this and really, because it's a great season, first playoff run with Wemby, and you make it to the finals. But you fall short in the end. And after a really emotional victory in a Game 7 and getting to the finals, you fall short in the end and lose in the finals. How do you recover off that, do you think?
Well, there's kind of like a thing going on across all sports that like when you're really young and you make it and you don't win it, Drake May.
Just throwing
a lot of the
shade
times
for no
they
reason.
do not get back to that level. I don't think this
fair.
is the case for the San Antonio Spurs.
I agree with you.
You have too many guys that are too young and just too good. Like they are just an insane team.
Yeah.
Honestly, props to them. They could have won this series pretty easily, I think, if you just hold on to those leads.
Yeah.
It's obviously easier said than done. But I think as far as their future, just keep doing what they're doing, man. They're building young. They're building a core.
Send De'Aaron Fox to the shadow.
Yeah, maybe send De'Aaron Fox to retirement. Just pay him to retire at this point. Bring in a different. I like what they were doing.
He's the real
though.
He's the real finals.
I think he's the finals MVP. But bring in maybe a different vet. Maybe bring in somebody that's
more experienced because honestly, De'Aaron
more
Fox,
experience in big moments.
Yeah, because De'Aaron
he
Fox
doesn't have that.
He had one playoff series before this.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
So,
he was as experienced as Wemby.
And a
like,
very talented player, but only limited playoff experience. And I do
you
think
could tell that team just lacked leadership.
They did.
And that's really, I think, why we won.
I agree. I mean, 3 for 15 in a closeout game, 1 for 8 from 3. That's not going to cut it.
What about the coach?
I think there's been a lot of contention over Mitch Johnson. I would say personally, I do think they keep him. I think
they'll give him another shot.
I think that's the right move. I mean, he gets to the finals in his first year as your coach. Yeah, he had some blunders, but every coach does, and I don't think that you can fire him off that now. If they go out there and they're 500 at the beginning of the season, hey, go ahead, pull the trigger.
Get rid of it. You got to do what you got to do. It's a business at the end of the day.
But I feel like he's, as of right now,
I think they're building the entire organization over again since Pop left. Well, Pop didn't leave.
Yeah,
Pop's still in the office.
Pop's still in the office, but Mitch Johnson was the guy on Pop's staff. So I like having that connection to that.
I like it a lot, yeah. It's still a connection, connecting both kind of dynasties. We'll see if we get a dynasty. But you're also building a young coach with young players. I like it.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing. I don't think they should be worried about anything. No. I can see them running the West over and over again for the next 10 years if they keep everyone together.
Who do you think will be more competitive next year, them or the Thunder?
It's going to honestly depend on what the Thunder kind of do with some of these contracts that need to be signed. Do they get rid of guys and kind of blow it all up, or do they run it back? I think the Spurs have a better future.
I agree.
I think they have the best future in the NBA.
The Spurs are like the Thunder for 3 years ago, really.
Yeah, like pretty much. I think the Spurs kind of copied what the Thunder kind of did a little bit.
And the Spurs have a generational
That's
talent.
the difference, though.
That's really the difference. No disrespect to Shea because he's a 2-time MVP, but like he's not on a LeBron James, Michael Jordan trajectory. That's maybe where Wemby ends up. So
I mean, is he
it's-
getting a lot of backlash after this series? They
of
kind of
course,
exposed him a
but
little
you know
bit
what,
with his
though? When he
dirtiness
acts-
in his play.
One, if you act like
Acts
you're
like a
dirty.
baby.
Two, if you act like you're cocky, doing this. Hey, I'm up 29. I'm in your head.
Yeah,
Gang,
like-
you lose the game. Like that's the kind of stuff. He just has to
I
mature.
think he got too ahead of himself. Yeah,
For sure.
He's 22.
And I do
Like,
think
that's gonna happen.
I do think if we
Dude, if I was running the NBA right now, I'm 21. If I was running the NBA right now,
you're gonna
I'd be cocky.
You're gonna be
But-
lit. Like it's no disrespect to him at all.
As long as he settles down and grows into it,
for sure.
that'd be fine. But he's got to stay healthy, man. I mean,
yeah.
7'4", we usually don't see that stay healthy.
And that's a big
Typically,
that's a
but-
big concern. But again, he's an alien. He's a freak athlete, and with those guys, you kind of just expect that things are gonna go right. Hopefully they do. You know, you never wish an injury upon anybody, except for when he's trying to take out OG's knee. That's crazy. But I will say,
We're slamming Brunson into the
yeah, it
ground.
was wild.
Yeah.
He should have been suspended,
No call.
but it's fine. We won the series, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, to wrap up the Spurs, I wouldn't be worried. Like, not in
No.
the slightest.
No.
Honestly.
Not at
Just
all.
rest up, get going for next year, man. They're going to be, 23 now?
Yeah, I
Like-
think if there's one thing that you want to hone in on, specifically if you're Wemby, it's kind of getting a go-to shot, working better in the paint. You know, he's great on the pick and roll, and we know he's great on the perimeter operating in space, but I think he needs to develop a little bit in the post, right? We saw a little,
Bro, 100%.
we saw little,
He's 7'4". He has no business pulling up from
little
45.
people kind of bitching him and pushing
Bro,
him out
even
of the paint,
Cat,
moving
Cat's
him
not a
around.
physical defender, man.
No, man.
I mean, he was being a little bit, but
But he had to.
he needs some weight
He had
on
to
him,
be in
bro.
that series. But when Jose Alvarado was kind of having his way with you
dude,
and shoving you out of
throwing
the
him
paint,
around.
Josh Hart, OG really played great defense on
OG
him. Like,
bullied him all year.
that's yes.
All
So
year.
I think personally that's kind of a big thing for the Spurs is trying to work on Wemby as an inside finisher, right? Obviously great around the rim, but can he, get a little bit better in the post, get a little shimmy, like Hakeem Dream Shake, like those are the kinds of go-to moves. Is really the biggest
Bring in
biggest thing
some
for me.
leadership.
Yeah,
These guys are too young to be on that side of stage. Now they already have experience in
For sure.
finals. Bring in another guy that has a little bit of experience. Not saying finals, but has been in the playoffs pretty
Mhm.
consistently. Kind of on the back half of their career, cheaper contract, and
Yeah.
get them on your team.
and even if you don't want to go that direction and you want to get rid of De'Aaron Fox and you say, hey,
I
listen,
think
we're
you
going
should
to give
regardless.
We're going to give Dylan Harper the
Regardless.
keys. I don't even think that's necessarily a bad decision either, because yeah, he's young, but in order
He's
for guys
real
to
young.
in order for guys to flourish, they have to grow into those roles, right? You have to see what
Yeah,
they're
then
going
you're
to do.
taking away from Wemby.
What are you going to do in a pressure situation? Do you want to win? Do you want to rely on one guy? Because they were trying to rely on one guy this whole series.
That was the issue, yeah.
and where to get them. So I think you do have
I
to
want
go
to see
and
more out of
expand.
Castle too. I think Castle can completely
I think his
run an
offensive
offense.
I think his offensive game was a little weak.
Dude,
you
he
know?
can completely run an offense if he wants to.
Mhm.
Bro. Like he can.
Yeah.
And then you have the other guys. You have shooters. You have big men. You have that whole
Mhm.
team is complete. Just bring in a guy. Just bring up one guy. I don't know who, because I think bringing in like a James Harden would actually hurt the team.
I agree. I
Um,
agree.
but I don't know. Maybe find somebody, man. Somebody's out there.
You gotta. If you're the Spurs, the story's simple to me. Just get a guy who you can trust. Get a guy who's going to go out there. He's going to give you a consistent,
like
15,
a Mr. Consistent type of
15
player.
and
not
8.
like
A Chris Paul. Who
Yo, I mean,
from
I'm not
like
even
5
laughing
years,
at that,
from like
though.
no, but
Yeah,
Chris
like,
Paul, a Chris Paul from
like-
like 5 years ago
that's perfect.
would have been
Pass the ball, get some rebounds.
great. But we're a little past that point now with
Yeah,
with
nah,
CP3.
he's done.
But yeah, there's a lot of veterans in the league that they could go to.
That is like kind of who they need, though.
I agree. I don't think that necessarily De'Aaron Fox will be on the team next year.
I really did like him
And
a
they-
lot.
I like him.
I actually
as a
like him more
personality.
now because he gave us the
Well,
series.
yeah.
But I mean, as far as that San Antonio team, I wouldn't keep him there.
Yeah, it was a bit rough for them. Quick question here for you, going back to the Knicks. When you look back on this year and this playoff run, give me one moment that you're going to say this is where it turned.
Oh, I said it. I believe last episode after the game 4.
Mm.
I was watching the game at my house, and all of a sudden, I specifically remember. I'll never forget this point. We're down 29 in the third quarter. Get back into the 4. I think we were down 15.
15 going into the
And
fourth.
then full momentum. All of a sudden, Brunson hits a 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks are within 9. Blah 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 blah. At that moment, I was like, "We're winning this." I was like, "We are winning this game. We are winning this series." And I kept saying 6. Knicks in 6, but we won in 5. That was a turning point in my mind. I think we deflated a team. You took away all their confidence. You took away pretty much everything they've worked for the entire year. I believe that you just completely stripped it from them.
Yeah.
That moment. That was my moment.
I don't know, man. For me, I think
that call from the announcer.
Yeah, the building is shaking. Yeah, that was elite.
That was a great call.
I think for me, I even go back a little bit earlier to the Cleveland series, coming back in Game 1.
Oh.
I think that gave them the belief to come back. I don't think if that Game 1 comeback happens, if that doesn't happen, I don't think they come back as well as they do in those Spurs games.
I think they'll win that series, though.
I think they win in Cleveland, but I think...
That's why I was encouraged with this team all year, because it didn't matter how much they were down, like at all. They were always down 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Every playoff game, I watched every single playoff game, they were down a lot. And I was like, is this the same team from yesterday? And then they showed it.
Yeah.
And that's why I remember the Chiefs team that one year in NFL.
Yeah.
They kept coming back from like 21 points, 14 points. They went on to win the Super Bowl. Ever since then, I love the comeback stories.
Oh yeah, I mean it's so momentum filling, so energy driven.
I just think it kind of proves that you can win any game, no matter of the situation. Your team doesn't lose hope. Your team is well structured and sound. I think it means a lot.
You know what it really proves? Not even necessarily anything about the winners, but it proves more, I think, about the people who fall apart in those situations. We go down 20 100%. And we just whittle away, and we end up losing the game by 50. You know, I think it says more about teams like that than it does about the teams that come back. Because you can always put in effort and hustle and stuff. 100%. And teams, when they go down, a lot of times,
all it takes is one play.
Yeah.
One play.
Exactly.
Get momentum shift a little bit like that. That's all you need, especially in a game like basketball.
Yeah.
But even in football, even in MLB, you hit one home run. Anything could change at any given moment. Does this kind of change? Because Wemby, they were saying Wemby's the best in the world.
I said that.
You said that.
I said that.
I never said that because I was like, hey, let's see how he does in this series. But losing that many leads and not doing anything about it, are you the best in the world?
He's officially no longer the best in the world.
I don't think he ever was.
Oh, I'm just telling you. I think
it was too early to tell. Everyone kind of got excited.
I'll give you my reasoning as to why I thought he was the best in the world.
Well, we haven't seen him yet.
But let me just tell you the context as to why I thought that. He goes and beats the defending champion. Yeah. Right. His value, both offensively and defensively, the way that he manhandled a rival for not just his NBA career, but before that, his youth basketball career in Chet Holmgren, manhandled him, babied him, toyed with him. Right. That's generational stuff. LeBron James by year 3, year 4 was the best player in the world. Him and Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Right. So I do believe. And whether or not he's the best player, he's in the top 5, in the top 3, in that region.
Yeah, not going to disrespect him.
But yes, losing this championship.
I wanted to see more. All I heard was Cat versus Wemby. Cat versus Wemby. Is he going to be able to stop Wemby? Is he going to? Did Wemby ever get more than 35?
Wemby had a couple good scoring games.
To me, I was never like, holy shit, we need to double this guy.
But there was never a situation where he truly took over the game.
No.
And he definitely didn't at the end of the game.
Dude, it looked like the first couple quarters he was really trying to get his stats up, get a couple blocks, get a couple rebounds. There was a few games in this series where he didn't even have double-digit rebounds. You were 7'4", you need double-digit rebounds every game, no matter what.
And that's credit to Cat for getting him out of the paint again.
But Mitch, that game-sealing one, that was a huge forward. That was a huge.
You saw
does Wemby?
What was my reaction? What was my reaction when he got?
Dude, this dude was emotional wreck. I had to give him a little hug.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But you know what? It was great.
No, it was amazing.
It was one of the, like I told you, if they won the championship, that it would be similar to 28-3. This has now eclipsed 28-3 for me. And I never thought I would say that, because winning against the Falcons in a game where you think you've got absolutely no hope in the third quarter.
How we always get to the Patriots?
Because first of all, you brought up Drake May earlier, so I don't even want to hear anything like that from you. But listen, that was the craziest game I'd ever watched until the 29-point comeback. Right. And then how I emotionally felt in Game 5, where I saw them go down by 16. I don't want to say we weren't paying attention to the game. I was locked in, of course, but
we were watching.
But we were like.
I mean, I think we were a little more focused on the beer, but we were focused.
We were down, so it was more like, we hope they're going to come back. But it was like, the Spurs are on their home floor.
You're up 3-1.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
you've
it's
got
like,
some
we
cushion.
could see it happening.
And then they did it again. They did it again.
Yeah.
Down 16 in the third, they did it again. And I think that's, you know, the
All right,
hallmark
well,
for
since
this
we want to
team,
bring up
bro.
the Patriots, I feel like
Oh
I have
my
to bring up
God.
my Cowboys now.
Come
It's
on,
been
man.
53 years for the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the best with NHL. I love the game. I'm not the greatest. The Hurricanes just won
The Hurricanes just won
for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, we will not be
That's
covering.
huge.
We will not be covering that.
We won't be,
I
but
can tell.
hockey, great game.
Congratulations.
Love the game. Not the greatest with it.
Yeah.
Cowboys. Cowboys. Let's keep this going here, please and thank you. I need it this year.
Is this like a sign from the gods?
I don't know, man, but like stuff's just kind of working out right now.
Yankees.
16 even.
Years.
I don't think it's been long enough for them.
No,
but
you're right.
you gotta wait 30 like Dallas, but
Yeah.
jeez, man.
Listen, man, that was a special run. That was a special run. I know I don't want to say that you're more casual, but you're more casual than I am. I would say
Definitely, yeah. NBA, yeah.
And for me,
and I've never watched every single.
Yeah.
I've been tuned in at 8:30 every single game.
you know what I mean?
but
Like
it is.
because it brought us all together. Whether you're casual, whether you're even a New Yorker who doesn't watch basketball, if you're somebody who doesn't watch basketball at all, you just enjoy the game, playoff energy,
Bro, the
playoff
city
atmosphere.
was nuts.
Like crazy stuff, man.
Nuts.
Crazy stuff to bring together a group of people like that. That's the
How
power.
do you feel? Okay, so
that's
how
the
do you
power of
feel?
sports,
Because I know
man.
you're gonna have an opinion.
Of course.
How do you feel about like I'm sure you saw on Instagram.
Yeah.
Not so much just the females, but like females putting on Knicks jerseys like everywhere they go and like pretending
Listen.
like they've been a fan.
Listen.
But how do you feel about like the new fans? I would say.
So
I think all fans are good.
listen. No.
I just
I'll
don't.
Put it this way.
I don't appreciate you
When
just
you-
showing off for Instagram.
Of course. When you're a fan of a team in a major market, though, it comes with the territory. right?
True.
I've dealt
true.
with it with the Yankees. You know, you got everybody wearing the Yankee caps.
Dude,
and
even the
everything.
Patriots.
Yeah,
Patriots,
the Patriots
Cowboys,
too during
you see
that
it all the
dynasty. I don't pay too much mind to it. I will say it does get a little bit annoying. You know, you see people throwing up on the Instagram, hey, you know, the Knicks win, my Knicks, we.
Yeah,
You know, but in all seriousness, I don't think it's that big of a deal because listen, for me as somebody who's been there, sat through all the pain and stuff, it is a little annoying to see people just hop on at the end of the bandwagon. But personally, man, I only care that
The
we
more
won.
the merrier. We won.
It's not the
Doesn't
more the
matter.
merrier. It's just like I care so much that we won that I can't be bothered to care about all that other stuff.
Nah,
You know what
fuck
I
that.
mean?
It's been 53 years.
It's
man.
been 53 years, 21 years of my life. It matters so much. It means so much. It's not even like I sit there and was watching the games and I thought we had a chance to win. Like I literally would just turn on the game thinking we were gonna lose. Go listen to the car,
Oh my God,
listen
for
to the
years.
radio in the car. The Knicks lose their 18th game in a row. The Knicks finish the season with 17 wins. Like they have 16 wins in this playoff run. They would finish seasons with 17 wins. Like think about that in the context of the franchise. I couldn't care less about all these people hopping on the bandwagon at the end because I got mine. Me and the real Knicks fans, we know we sat through, we deserve it, man. If you guys want to hop on the bandwagon, that's fine. I appreciate that. More the merrier if you want to say that. But yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot.
Let's get into next topics.
Yeah.
Next topics.
Because
Now,
the
where does
NBA
our sports
season-
talk kind of go. NBA season's over. We got what we wanted. We won't pick back up on that for a very long time.
Yeah, there will be some stuff to talk about in the summer as far as the
Like
NBA,
draft
but
would
it'll
be
be a little bit further down the
Yeah.
road.
OTAs.
We got
NFL.
OTAs with football. You know, there's going to be some more moves as we get closer to
definitely
preseason, the
Always
Hall of Fame
is.
game, all that
There's always
nonsense.
moves.
The World Cup
is
going
here.
on right now. Pretty big stuff there. USA. Can't claim to be a huge soccer fan. Never have and never will be.
Can't
But USA's in it, man. USA's hosting it. So I'm going to be
We're
rooting
gonna do
for
our
them.
best, man.
We're going to do our best.
We're gonna watch some of the games. So.
I will say, though, we're recording this after they beat Paraguay 4-1. Great game by them. A little concerned with Pulisic coming out after the first half. So, you know, I know that you got no clue what I'm talking about right now,
watched that game.
but that doesn't matter. That doesn't
I watched
matter.
that game at work. I watched the whole game.
I believe you. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how they play against Australia this weekend. This episode will be out before that. And then obviously Turkey. So in a situation now, they should win the group. If
You would
we
think.
just get into this
You
a
would
little bit
think.
really quick. They should win the group, and going forward, hopefully into the I don't want to call it the medal round, but playoff situations here, the round of 32, round of 16. You have to win an elimination game. They've only done that once, and that would be huge. That would be so emotional for soccer fans in the United States because it's not even like on our top 5 sports. So like the people here who care about it, like
it's just such a massive.
It's
sport.
gonna, you know what I mean? Like it's, and for me personally, and I think you'll feel the same way about this. I want to go and show the world, like, hey, we don't even care about this that much, and we're still kicking your ass. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
You know, like we
right.
aren't even giving you our LeBron Jameses, and we're still going and kicking you in the ass. You know, imagine LeBron.
Well, technically, our LeBrons aren't our LeBrons. Technically,
that's fair.
That's the thing with the World Cup. But anyways, we'll be getting into that.
Yeah.
We'll probably be covering that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
At least the USA.
Yeah.
And then Yankees baseball.
Yankees baseball.
Sitting top of the division right now. Judge is still hurt.
He'll come back. You know what though? Spencer Jones, we were begging for him to come up. His first little stint, really bad. His second stint though, really great so far. And I'm very confident in the rotation, how they've been. You know, Rodon, Weathers have fallen a little bit in my head. Yeah. But listen, you only need 3 starters: Cole, Fried, Schlittler, not in any particular order. And they'll go out there. I believe they'll dominate in any series. I do believe that we've got the best pitching staff in baseball. We're gonna make
starting or bullpen.
Starting, and they'll make moves at the line for bullpen pieces.
They always do. Do you think they make another kind of trade here, bring in somebody
offensively or
offensively?
Offensively, I do.
We know the bullpen. That's every year.
Look, again, Caballero is the person who should be playing shortstop. Yeah. He's not playing shortstop. I'd love an explanation. Somebody, please give me one, because. Hopefully they make that switch.
We've been saying that for what, 3-4 years?
We have, but we shouldn't be saying that anymore. We should have moved on from this situation.
It should have been a done deal, but
they put so much stress on the guy Volpe to get better and stuff. We shouldn't pay.
I think they're almost I think they're almost doing him a disservice at this point. Let him fresh start. Let him go and flourish somewhere else if he needs to.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly not really working. The fans don't really love him. But
the fans would love him. If he performed, the fans would love him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think all the pressure's on him now, and he knows every single game, every at-bat, every fielding thing. He has to perform because of what has happened in the past. Mm-hmm. I think you're almost doing him a disservice. I don't think he can actually get better now. In a way. Because of everything that's happened.
Bottom line, I do think they make an offensive move because you can't stick with 3 guys. 3 guys have a sub 210 average.
I think they need to, yeah.
You can't have that.
You can have 1 or 2.
You can have 1. You can maybe have 2.
Can't
the
be
rest
that
of the lineup
top
picks them up, but you can't
heavy.
be that top heavy. I agree with you on that. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about going into the summer here. Again, great win by the Knicks, and it's been a hell of a ride, man. Greatest playoff run that I've seen personally of a team that I've been a fan of. So it's absolutely amazing, man. And we love to be it. But hey, we're here, and we'll be here for the rest of the summer and going into the fall with football, basketball coming back, baseball obviously through the summer into the Fall Classic. But this has been another edition of Mike and V Sports Talk. That's Mike. I'm V. The Knicks are NBA champions, baby.